This video was sponsored by AnyTrans. If you were to ask me right now how I'm enjoying my Apple Watch Series 4 half a year later, I would just reply saying it's been absolutely amazing. Apple's engineers did a phenomenal job in revamping the body style of the Series 4, especially on the backside. But from a far distance, it still looks like the iconic 4-year-old model of the first generation Apple Watch. But it's when you get up close, it's when you start noticing the more lovelier curved display. So my main Apple Watch is the Nike Plus Edition, Series 4, Space Gray, the 44mm size option. Now, if you're going with the Nike Plus Edition, which I highly advise picking up if you're getting the standard Space Gray or the aluminum body Sport Apple Watch, because for the same price, you not only get this exclusive reflective band, but you also get other band options to select from, like the traditional ones that we're used to seeing, the one with the holes. You get that, and you also get some exclusive software watch faces and integrations. So you get this cool exclusive green color, and you get these Apple Watches only for the Nike Plus Edition, as well as the Nike logo on the bottom, if you're a fan of that. But for all the other Apple Watch Series 4, you still have the traditional colors that we got on the Series 3. The only new thing that the Series 4 did get though is a new stainless steel gold color option, which matches really well with the iPhone XS. Now, originally when I first bought my Apple Watch, my Series 4, I was debating if I should get the LTE version, but to be honest, I'm actually glad I didn't. Thanks to watchOS 5, my Apple Watch has been almost as independent as if it was a smartphone. An example would be, this is a real story, one time I did left my phone behind and I was in an office building that actually had Wi-Fi, and I was actually able to connect to it, enter the password all off the smartwatch itself, and I was able to still get my notifications from my phone in case I missed something important. Now, to be honest, in the past, if I had my Series 2 still, or even my Series 3, I probably wouldn't even bother doing this because the processor that's inside the Series 4 is insanely quick. It definitely is double the speed from the Series 3. And because of that bump in performance, I actually find myself using this Apple Watch a lot more than I would if I just took out my phone to reply on a certain message. As literally, applications is launched in just 1 or 2 seconds, as quickly as it would on my iPhone. Which this is actually surprisingly very impressive, because I did upgrade from my Series 2 to the Series 3, but I returned to Series 3 because I didn't really see a significant bump in performance. With this Apple Watch, the Series 4, everything literally just takes a few seconds. A good example for the CPU bump in performance is when you're scrolling through your many different watch faces, as there's little to no lag in between each watch face as it loads, unlike the Series 3 does. So I gotta say, compared to all my previous smartwatches that I used in the past 12 months, the Series 4 is definitely number one when it comes to performance. And something that's actually really impressive about the Series 4, Apple actually shrank the battery inside the Series 4 compared to the Series 3, and it somehow still manages to get a total hour time up to 18 hours is what I've been averaging, and I can confirm this, which means at the end of the day, I'm left 60% of battery life left. So I'm still left with plenty of juice to make it another day. And then when it comes to looking at its cosmetic damage, there really isn't anything that's really noticeable. There's no marks or anything around the body, and I do have bumper protections as well as full body cases, but I usually have them off because when I'm making a video, most of the time I just take it off to make the watch more presentable. But even so, 60% of the time the watch is actually without a case. But I'm surprised how well the screen isn't scratched up or anything. There's no scratches on the aluminum body that's causing it to fade or anything like that. The body is really strong and held up really well, as we see. And then other parts of the Series 4 internal has also been enhanced. For example, there's a new and improved gyroscope and a G-force sensor, which, fun fact, can actually detect up to 32 Gs. And thanks to those sensor enhancements, this is still the only smartwatch out there in today's market that actually has a fall detection, which works really well. And surprisingly, during my ownership, I haven't yet triggered this too, which I'm surprised. That was one of my fears about the Series 4, that I was gonna eventually accidentally trigger it, and I haven't yet done that. Which you could imagine, this is really great for the elderly or for somebody who's working in a really harsh work environment. And if you may be wondering, yes, the fall detection also works if you fall off your motorcycle, which unfortunately somebody on Reddit actually managed to activate fall detection when they fell off their motorcycle. It's a really interesting article. I'll be sure to link that in the video description, but already this watch seems like it already saved a couple of people's lives. And I feel I gotta at least mention this. If you're over the age 55, fall detection automatically becomes enabled. If you're under the age, you have to manually go into the settings and enable this, and also set your emergency contacts for the watch to contact them, as well as share your location in case of an incident. So in some ways, this watch is technically like a guardian angel. And thanks to all those sensors, raise to speak actually works really well most of the time. I find the raise to speak to Siri feature really useful, and I find myself using it a lot more than I would if I just said the Hey Siri command with AirPods. Which, by the way, the two-way communications between the Apple Watch and the person you're talking to, the microphone and speaker sounds good, really good. It's loud, it's clear. Even when I answer my phone call in a loud environment, the microphone is strong enough to pick up the audio quality of my voice really well without picking up that background noise. And for those who may have noticed or want to ask, why do I wear my Apple Watch upside down like this with the crown on this end? Well, that's because, well, this happened to me once already. Having the crown on this side, whenever I'm bench pressing, my wrist actually does hold down the little crown right here, and I accidentally dialed SOS. So ever since that day, I switched it back over here, like how I had it with my other Apple Watches. But another great reason why I believe it's better having the crown over here is that there's a lot of internals inside the crown, the digital crown, because not only do we have the ECG, but also the crown now gives us the haptic feedback. So having a crown on this end, you're less likely to damage it if you would to make contact against a wall, for example. And in some ways, basically this crown is what makes the Series 4 special. So the haptic feedback motor, the feedback that it gives you whenever you're scrolling through your applications, your messages, it's nice, it's pleasant. It allows you to actually know that you actually are doing something when you're scrolling. But another thing is the ECG, since ECG is now enabled in other regions now, not just in the US. Which, if I may add, during the months I had ECG enabled, this thing is more like a party trick. There really isn't a reason for me to constantly be using this, unless you're somebody who's going through or are experiencing health complications. I guess it's a great tool to have. But for us average Joes who aren't experiencing these issues, this is more like a party trick, which I'm not complaining, it's pretty cool, but I have no reason to really use this. Just thought I had to share this. But something that I find useful, and I'm sure many others, especially if you're trying to get into fitness, is the auto workout detection. This thing works really great. Within like the first 2 or 3 minutes during my workout, the watch will automatically pin me, let me know if it will wish for me to start the workout. For the watch could track the calories and the distance I travel, and the watch is smart enough to know exactly what kind of cardio workout you're doing. If you're on the elliptical, doing an indoor run or outdoor run, the watch will automatically know what you're doing just based off the movement. And this is really amazing because, once again, thanks to that new processor, this literally just takes a few seconds. Where in the past, on my Series 2 for example, it used to take me like 1 or 2 minutes just for the watch to load everything for me to even start my workout. And letting the watch do everything for me in just a couple of seconds is incredible. But you know what else is incredible? Automatically backing up your phone wirelessly with no cable required, and this is all possible thanks to AnyTran, a phone management program. You're able to customize the schedule for your iPhone to automatically back up whenever your computer is turned on, and based from the schedule you have selected, of course. As long as you have the two devices using the same Wi-Fi, it will automatically back up your phone. So there's no need to plug your iPhone into power in order for the backup to be enabled. And all that data is saved directly inside your PC that you own. So no need to buy additional iCloud storage for cloud storage, or trust all your personal data to go into some sort of cloud from a different server network that you don't own. The way I would describe AnyTran, it's like iTunes but on steroids. You could do that, and you could do a lot more. Create your own phone ringtone. AnyTran will allow you to even do that. You can also view your iPhone's backup files directly on the computer. So if there's a note that you took a while ago, you can actually view it right here directly off the computer. So if you wish to find out more, definitely do check out the link in the video description down below. So if I were to conclude my 6 months ownership with this Apple Watch, I absolutely love this thing. It's incredible for what it's capable of doing. It's definitely the most fastest, the quickest smartwatch out there in today's market, I feel like. Because I tested a lot of Apple Watches like I mentioned, and none of them outperformed the Series 4. So if you're upgrading or a first time buyer of picking up a Apple Watch, jump right into the Series 4. It's definitely a good buy and you won't regret it. Which also reminds me, this thing actually has 16 gigabytes of internal storage, which is a lot. And because of that, I'm actually able to play some games on my smartwatch if I ever get bored. And you could thank me later, as you could click on this little playlist right here where I go through a bunch of different gaming apps that don't suck for the Apple Watch. And if you want to find out some awesome apps, definitely do check out this other playlist over here, as I pretty much go through all the top 10 best Apple Watch apps out there in today's market. So definitely do check out those videos. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.